Kent. FRBR, that's Dougie Ford out of Edinburgh. Sponsored by For Rednecks by Rednecks. The double deuce is Corey May. Track is clear, the drivers are ready, and the referees are ready. So let's go ahead and give them a countdown, starting with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let them go. And the action's underway at the Smash It, Crash It, Tear 'em Up Automobile Demolition Derby Mini Car Event Heat number 1. Portage County Randolph Fair 2013. Night number 1 taken off already, and they are migrating down the far end of the track. Number 62 pushing his way down through that. Brian Wolf out of Suffield. They're pushing the 44 on down. They're telling to keep her on inside the track area out here. They got plenty of room out here. Once again, the 5-0 down there, working on the bucket list. That is Rebecca Raines. Looks like she stalled out here. At least now she can say that she has participated in a demolition derby. Things keep going on right now. We'll see how she fares. Looks like most everybody's still running strong. 0-5 down at the far end. That's Jared White out of Louisville. He momentarily stalled out, but he's back on the move. Now they did. Okay, hold them up, drivers, hold them up. Spectators is first and foremost priority here. We do have that all clear, and everything is back on the move. Well, Jim Heat is in the 5-9-T-11. Running down through the middle of the track. Right in behind him is Seth Kumos in the 13 XXX. Looks like Seth's getting ready to lose the front bumper off that machine as he's making his way down to the far end of the track to finally make some contact with the number 44. Splitting the field wide open, the number 715. Chris Villers out of Ravenna. Coming out to make some contact with the 5-0, Rebecca Raines, heading on back toward the westerly end of the track here. That is Dougie Ford. Looks like the FRBR is out of contention right now. And it looks like things definitely starting to get a little bit warm up under the hood of the 5-9-T-11. And doggone it, looks like Brian Wolf in the 62 is out of contention right now. 715. Chris Fillers momentarily stopping down there, heading on down to the far end. And they are starting to drop fairly quickly right now. We did have 13 XXX Seth Kumos out of Edinburgh, removing the flag from the doorpost. And the 1171, that's Ronald Kennedy out of Akron, leading his way down the track, slipping just by the 44K. That's Dale Steele out of Diamond. These cars definitely running on the warm side. Steve Duncan out of Kent. Hit on each side here, and between Ronald Kennedy and the 1171 and the 44K of Dale Steele. A whole lot of tire smoke coming off that 5-90-11. That's Jim Heaton running about track central down there. You can see that right front definitely flat, and a lot of that smoke is being generated by that rim spinning about 100 miles an hour inside there. Looks like he may have just flopped most of it off of the rim right there. We'll see how he's able to keep things moving here. Corey Mason up on the wall there. I believe his night has come to an end here. Now we're going to have a second night of this coming up tomorrow night. So mark your calendars. A lot more things to come here. 2013 Portage County Randolph Fair. And once again with the $1 entry fee, I'm sure that we hopefully will see a lot of repeat performers coming tomorrow night. Matt Heater looks like he's trying to make his way through there. Matt's car is easy to find. He's got a goose riding up on top of the M21. Matt's here out of Mogador. Running right about track central right now. 44, Jeffrey Lee working his way back in toward the middle of the track. Once again, we are paying 4 spots. 4 spots going to be receiving some prize money tonight. Only the top 3 will be receiving prize or trophies. Top 3 trophies, top 4 will be receiving some prize money. $12.50 to win, $500 for second, $250 for third, and $100 for a 4th place finish here in the mini car. Number 50, she's still doing a good job out there. Rebecca Raines out of Suffield, taking a hit from the 88. That's Justin Edelman out of Rootstown. Justin making his way down through there in the Bruno's Pizza Machine. 7:15, Chris Villers still running strong. Looks like every hit packs that rear bumper up inside there and acts like a boat anchor to slow the 715 down. Speaking of slowing things down, that M21 of Matt Heater, he's losing his front wheels as well. Seems like those flat tires definitely plaguing the drivers up. Mini car heat number 1. Ronald Kennedy in the 1171 trying to work his way around to Jeffrey Lee in the 44. Dale Steele out of Diamonds in the 44K. He's down there mixing it up with the 825 of Steve Duncan. Steve running with us out of Kent. And it looks like we do have some movement out of about 9 of them for sure that I can see. Oh, look at that. Up and away. That was the 1171 of Ronald Kennedy. Oh, hold him up, hold him up. Hold him up. Got the red flag flying. Got the red flag flying. Waving the green flags. They're ready to turn them loose and let them go. Getting the action back underway. And you can see the 715 of Chris Villers. Every time he makes a hit in reverse, that rear bumper folds up underneath there. Takes him a little bit of time to pull it out, get it out behind his rear wheel. As soon as it rolls out from underneath of the 715, Chris is able to get a little bit of traction and make his way on down the track at a pretty good clip. Right now, the number 44 experiencing a little bit of problems out there. That's Jeffrey Lee out of Randolph. The bumper on that 44 on the rear side is definitely blading the track down pretty nice. You can see each time he pulls it in reverse. And actually, even when he's going in forward, he's definitely smoothing the track out. And that is not helping his endeavors out there to keep that number 44 rolling along. Now the 44K, Dale Steele out of Diamond, running very well at Track Central, going down through there, and you can see him in the red, white, and blue machine. And here comes the 715, going down through there to make some contact with Justin Edelman out of Rootstown. And Steve Duncan in the 825 is down and out of contention. Well, the 44K, Dale Steele out of Diamond, got popped up in the air, and he was coming down through. Definitely got 5 vehicles still with some movement out there. Again, the top 4 are going to be receiving some prize money. Top 3 out of those 4 will be receiving trophies tonight. Looks like we do have movement out of 6 of them right now. It is going to be Jeffrey Lee in the 44, the number 88, Justin Edelman out of Rootstown, number 715, that is Chris Phillips. 44K is Dale Steele out of Diamond. Number 50, that's Rebecca Rain, still working on the bucket list. And we do have Michael McLaughlin in the 804, Michael McLaughlin. Looks like a number 88, Justin Edelman out of Rootstown, trying to keep his machine going right now. And I don't think that's what the number 44 wanted to see what was going on. There's a whole lot of steam starting to belch out from underneath the hood of Jeffrey Lee's number 44. Jeffrey was making contact with the number 50, that is Rebecca Rains. Rebecca trying to get her vehicle fired here, making back-to-back contact with the 44K of Dale Steele out of Diamond. Okay, so we do have 804, Michael McLaughlin out of Kent is out right now. Looks like we got 1 on the timer and still movement out of 4 of them here. Oh, got us a fire down here. Gonna hold it up. Hold them up down there. We got a fire. Number 88, hold them up, drivers. Hold them up. We do have a vehicle on fire. Hold them up, drivers. These 4 that are still remaining and battling it out. They don't want to have any last 4. And what do you know? The number 50, Rebecca Rains, who had this on her bucket list in the first Derby and things to do, is in the top 4. So at the very least, even a 4th place finish is going to be receiving $100 for 4th. Again, to win this is going to pay $12.50, $500 for 2nd, $250 for 3rd, and $100 for a 4th place finish. So again, those 4 drivers battling it out. Going to take it down to the last one running at this moment in time. That looks like the number 50 has lost at least one of the front tires. That's definitely going to slow things down, and I believe looks like she's lost both of them. She's able to get a little bit of traction out there. We'll see how things pan out for Rebecca Raines in the 50. We also have 44 Jeffrey Lee out of Randolph, Dale Steele in the 44K, and Chris Villers is in the 715 out of Ravenna. And that rear bumper has been plaguing the 715 all night. Takes them a little bit of time to get it rolled out from underneath the bottom of that 715. And right now the number 44, who's been sitting low most of this heat one of the mini car, currently sitting over there, not able to move a whole lot. So I'm sure they have the 44 of Jeffrey Lee on the timer right now. And even in the late going, that was a pretty good hit between the 715 of Chris Villers going back-to-back with the 50 of Rebecca Raines. Okay, what looks like time has ran out on the number 44. The 44 of Jeffrey Lee out of Randolph, going home not empty-handed, will receive the fourth place $100 prize for the fourth place finish here. Now we have a top three finish between the 715, the 50, and the 44K. So which one do you think it's going to be? We have Rebecca Raines in the 50. Dale Steele's in the 44K, and Chris Villers is in the 715. Right now it looks like, as far as the movement, looks like 715 at least has good tires up there on front. Two flats on the 50, but she's able to make some contact, and the 44K of Dale Steele still running pretty strong in that red, white, and blue, a 44K. And they're definitely slowing up just a little bit, but all three of them able to move down there during this late going of the heat number one of the mini car. Well, it looks like something must be going south on the 44K of Dale Steele. He's throwing his arms up, not sure what's going on. Definitely a little warm underneath the hood of that machine. Dale not looking. Like he's having too good of a time out there now. So they do have the 44K on the timer. Looks like both the Chris Villers in the 715 and Rebecca Raines in the 50. Right now, the 715 definitely starting to get a little bit warm out there. We can see that overflow tube shooting the steam out of that thing. He's starting to definitely work on the number 50 a little bit. Okay, looks like the 44K of Dale Steele has removed the flag from the doorpost. That'll be a third place finish for the 44K. Right now it's down between the 715 of Chris Villers out of Ravenna. Right now it looks like he's got the upper hand, but we have Rebecca Raines in the 50 that's been working on that bucket list. And not a bad way to finishing things here. Looks like 715 is going to stop just shy. But I'd say right now the upper hand definitely the 715. The referee's telling him, giving him the green light. Make one more hit out here. And there it is, the red flag. What do you know? The 715. Chris Villers is going to be taking home a win. Now, Chris has been running up here a lot of years and running that 715 number, and we're glad to see him finally win, and very happy, too, for Rebecca Raines taking home the second place finish in the number 50. Rebecca here out of Suffield. Again, this was on her bucket list, and that's the whole reason she's out here. Taking the third place finish is Dale Steele in the 44K out of Diamond. And finally down there, the other 44, that is Jeffrey Lee out of Randolph. So big congratulations to all those drivers that finished in the top 4 spots. Again, put your hands together for all of them. Again, we're happy to see all of them come out here and have a great time, put on a wonderful show for you. Again, that driver in that 715 definitely paid his dues. He's been out here quite a few years, and we're glad to see Chris Villers take one home tonight. Now, what's coming up next is going to be the big truck event. So trucks, you're going to be coming out next, followed by Heat 2 of the mini cars. Okay, it looks like they have the green flags up, so let's give them a countdown, starting with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let them go, and it looks like the truck event is underway here at the Smash It, Crash It, Tear 'em Up Automobile Demolition Derby. In down there, the FC40, Scott Krieger out of Rootstown, getting in a little bit of a shoving match with Vince Hamrick, also out of a Rootstown in the 7-0. Driver squared off now. The 410X, that's Mike Govan out of a Randolph, wanting to get in on the action a little bit. And they're packing them in down there, and they've got a whole bunch of real estate, and that's why they're telling these drivers to back them on down there. All this area that they have. And we've got Hillbilly on the clock down here. He's up on the concrete barricade as well. We've got a couple of them on each end up on the concrete right now. Looks like 1811X, Jeff Eldridge out of Suffield, working his way down. Uh-oh, I think somebody just lost something very critical on the front end. I believe that's Richie Empling out of Kent. That whole front axle just broke on that machine. That's definitely not going to help him whatsoever, but the 105 still managing to keep her moving out there, and that's the name of the game. And there's a good bumper-to-bumper hit. Two of them squared off. That was a 918 of a Russ Peter working on Mike Govan out of a Randolph. And a 7-0. Vince Hamrick out of a Rootstown coming in, working in the middle of the track. A few of them Hey, look down there. They do have the FC40, Scott Krieger. He's been wiggling it and working it down there, and finally he is off of the clock, and I'd say he's going to come down to possibly try to find who put him up on the wall down there. We'll see how that goes. Brian Kintner in the 1-star B. Looks like he's reaching out, and he is off of the clock as he removes the flag from the doorpost. Again, that was Brian Kintner right here at Track Central, taking the flag off the doorpost of his machine. 803, Rob Mangus out of Kent coming back in here. He's in the 803 side by side with the 666X Josh Wyatt out of the wall. And the FC40, Scott Krieger out of Rootstown. Now that he's got his vehicle unwedged, he's making up for some lost time out there. This time going after the number 70, Vince Hamrick out of Rootstown. Pushing him down there into the far corner. And 105, he has lost that. Looks like we have another one, Rob Mangus, down on the wall, and he's not moving off the wall too much down here. We'll see how things go with the 803 down at the far end, the 8819. Billy loading out of Tuffield. That's Hillbilly. Going to be taking a hit from the 410X of Mike Goodman. And they're going to be stacking and packing them down there, and all of the trucks migrating down to the one end of the track, short of Vince Hamrick, who's heading the other way. He's the odd man out. He's packing them in down there. It looks like we do have the number 918, Russ Heater. Definitely get warm out there. You can see all that steam coming off, and the number 70 going back into the 1811X Jeff Eldridge, splitting the difference between him and Russ Heater in the 918. Number 12 still running strong. That's Greg Krieger out of Mogador. Starting to get a little bit of a bow going on the number 12. And it looks like the 803 is out of contention right now. 410X, he's starting to buckle them up on a couple of them here. The number 12, Greg Krieger, him buckling down along with the 410X and Mike Goodman out of the Randolph. And it looks like you have a little bit of front end damage on the 918 of Russ Heater. He's got pieces of parts broken on that front passenger side, possibly top ball joint, and a few other things they have given way, broke on that, so that's definitely going to slow him up. A good hit between the 410X, Mike Goodman, and the number 12, Gregory Krieger. Both making contact and both throwing up just a little bit more of each and every hit. 666X, Josh Wyatt. And now he's working along with Vince Hamrick in that number 70, and that person finishes up the vehicle down at the near end of the track. And a whole lot of smoke coming off of Hillbillies. 8819. That's loading out of Suffield. Well, it looks like the number 12, Gregory Krieger, has removed the flag from his doorpost, taking himself out of contention. Referee's keeping a close eye on the tanks on these vehicles. That's one thing, especially when they start bowing around like they do. the FC40 wedged down in the end there. Looks like Hillbilly's got his up against the governor on that machine. The rev limiter kicking in and definitely not letting it pop it up anymore, but the 8819 giving her all shot. Not going anywhere all too fast, but making contact slowly but surely nonetheless. Mike getting out of a Randolph, still trying to refire the 410X. Billy keeping the hammer down, working his way down the track. You see a little bit of the dust flying down through there, so that track, although maybe a little greasy on top, definitely doesn't go all the way down right there. The 8819 Hillbilly gonna finally make some contact with the number 70 of Vince Hamrick out of Rootstown. 5 trucks still left. 4 of the 5 will be receiving some prize money tonight. Watch him down at the far end there. They pushing the 666X Josh Wyatt. He was getting a little bit of assistance going down the track, courtesy of Scott Krieger in the FC40. Like the 8819, that big cloud of smoke out there. Scott Krieger going through about 0 visibility right about track central down there. Hillbilly in the 8819. Tire smoke filling the stands over here on the infield side. Looks like the 8819 was out of time right now. So we are down to 4 vehicles that are currently left. 4 of these trucks that are left running. Looks like 8819 is in the 5th spot. What we have moving on is Josh Wyatt, 666X. Also have the FC40 Scott Krieger out of Rootstown 1811X is Jeff Eldrith out of Suffield. And the number 70, Vince Hamrick out of Rootstown. Just refiring that machine. 7-0. Heating up just a little bit. You can see the steam kind of melting out of the front of that overflow tube on the 7-0 machine. So we do have Jeff Eldrith mixing it up with Vince Hamrick in the 70. Jeff Eldrith in the 1811X. Down at the other end, we do have Scott Krieger in the FC40 and Josh Wyatt in the 666X. Now again, for the truck event here, all these drivers are guaranteed some prize money. $12.50 to win, $500 for second, $250 for third, and $100 for a fourth place finish. These are some tough trucks here, making it down to the bottom four, the last four running. They're stacking them up 4 deep right in the middle of the track. Josh Wyatt, 66X, Vince Hamrick in the 7-0, Scott Krieger in the FC40, and Jeff Eldrith in that 1811X. Guaranteed prize money. Like we do have at least one driver on the timer right now. 666X, that's Josh Wyatt, and a good long distance run of Scott Krieger in the FC40, taking her all the way down the track toward far into the track. So we are down to 3 drivers left running, 3 of them left running. 7-0, excuse me, the 666X, Josh Wyatt is in 4th place. Still battling it out is Vince Hamrick in the 7-0, Scott Krieger in the FC40, and Jeff Eldrith in the 1811X. 4th place again, going to the 666X of Josh Wyatt. Sparks flying out from underneath the FC40. Looks like they just popped the 1811X sideways. And giving Jeff Eldrith a way out here, and Jeff's going to slip slide his way back out toward track central right there. FC40 Scott Krieger nosing into the side of Vince Hamrick, who is in the 70 machine. Jeff Eldrith back to back with the 7-0 Vince Hamrick right now. FC40. I believe that's a 64 Ford. That 1964 model Ford is what Scott Krieger's running in the FC40. Now, it does have a little bit of an updated engine under the hood of that thing. Got a 1964 Ford, 2000 model Chevy updated under the hood of that thing. And all in all, I'd say the FC40 running pretty well tonight. Uh-oh, sounds like somebody's going to be slowing up just a little bit, and I believe it looks like it's going to be the 1811X as Jeff Eldred's front left tire is starting to go south very, very quickly. Well, that's going to start to slow him up just a little bit. Now a lot of money on the line. $12.50 to win, $500 for second, and $250 for a third place finish here. Stacking them in down at the far end of the track. These last three definitely built very strong down there. All of them running pretty good yet. 1811X slowing up just a little bit. Lost a tire off the right rear and the left front. Jeff Eldred continuing to make progress back and forth on the track. And we do have the number 70 on the clock down there. Looks like Vince Hamrick's up on the wall down at the far end. So that's definitely going to impede the progress of the 70. Other two drivers realizing it's down to the money right now. I don't know how much help he's going to get. Both of these trucks definitely wounded out there, slowing up quite a bit. Vince Hamrick, seconds tick by. Tries to remove himself from the concrete barricade down there. Okay, we are down to two. The 7-0, Vince Hamrick's going to settle for a third place finish. Third place is going to the number 70 of Vince Hamrick. So right now, it's going to be between Scott Krieger in the FC40 and Jeff Eldred in the 1811X. $12.50 to win, $500 for second. $250 third place prize. Already decided it's going to be going to the number 7-0 of Vince Hamrick. And a $100 fourth place prize going to Josh Wyatt in the 666X. Okay, folks, who you think it's going to be? We got any fans of the 1811X of Jeff Eldred? What about the FC40 of Scott Krieger? Right now it's down to a 1-2 finish. Quite a bit on the line between the 1250 and the 500. It's the first and second place prize money right now. Looks like the FC40 is kind of sitting high and dry up there. We can see that rear wheel on the FC40. He picked up that tire that was lost early on, and I think he's got... Yeah. Oop, we just had to stick brake on the FC40. Scott Krieger is going to settle for second, which means the 1811X of Jeff Eldred is going to be going away with the first place finish. Both these guys putting on one great battle here. So congratulations to Jeff Eldred in the 1811X out of Suffield. Scott Krieger in the FC40 out of Rootstown in second place. Taking the checkered right now, and we still have a couple runs to go. We have the second heat of the mini cars and the big cars yet. Sitting under what looks to be a full moon tonight. A wonderful night in Ohio for a Demolition Derby. Now, if anybody would like to get a copy of tonight's Demolition Derby action, you can stop up here at the announcer stand. We do have Mid-Vid racing videos captured. Four, three, two, one. Let them go. And the action is underway here in heat number 2 of the mini cars. The Buzz Bomb heat number 2 is taken off with a fury in the 50XL. Definitely slinging some sparks already. That's Justin Crosman out of Rootstown. They're stacking them up out here. For sure, for sure. 0-1, Sean Petrie out of Manaway. Making its way down through there in that bright orange automobile, and the track's splitting up quite nicely out here. A lot of vehicles. Again, they are all battling it out for another $1,250 to win this. 500 for second, 250 for third, and 100 for fourth. Not a bad payday for both of these heats of these mini cars. Number C69, that is Mitch Jr. out of Randolph. Yellow and green machine. The number 88. Look at him go. My goodness, that was the number 88. Mike Maduri out of Ravenna. Sponsored by Collision Craft. And Mike Maduri, he's got the whole middle of the track to himself, and he's got a lot of running room for sure, on that white number 88. And my goodness, the number 32 is going to take a heck of a hit in the nose. That was Rex Heater on the receiving end of that shot from the number 4X of Jamison Rohaley. Number 12 running strong. Scott Berkeley out of a Randolph, and they're definitely stacking them and packing them right about track central. Looks like we're losing a couple of them down here. I see the number 68, Brendan Simmons, showing out of contention. Also the number 19. Flag pulled down on that machine. That's Jared Connor out of Randolph. Hopefully they can make some repairs to them, get them ready, bring them on down tomorrow. We're going to have a round number 2 of the Smash It Demolition Derby. And the number 15, Zach Kochner out of Ravenna. And we are losing them quite quickly now. The number 12, that's Scott Berkeley out of Randolph, taking himself out of contention. And my goodness, the 15, Zach Kochner. He's getting into the zone right now as he went into the 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's going to be a good hit, courtesy of the 4X. Jamison Rohaley out of Salem, and the double deuce was on the receiving end. That's Samantha Knapp out of Atwater. Samantha took one heck of a hard hit, but she's a tough contender. She's looking around, and she's backing that double deuce right on down the track to the middle, even after she took quite a wallop right here. She is one tough cookie behind the wheel of the 22, the 50XL. That's Justin Crosman, taking himself out of contention as well. We're losing quite a few of them here. And the 4X, I'll tell you, the 4X, Jamison Rohaley, he has been moving and grooving out there in that 4X. Keep an eye on that machine. He's got a lot of running room out there. The 00Z, that's Boozer out of Ravenna. He's going to take a shot in the nose from that 4X this time. 4X definitely working both ends of the track. Looks like he's got the sights set on the number 83, and they're going to stack him up right there at track central. 4 deep. My goodness, the last one making contact is the number 69. And that was Eric Bennett out of Canton. Number 61, Douglas Morey II out of Atwater. Going to get a repeat performance from the number 69 as they go nose to nose. The number 15 stalling out right about track central. Back on the move again. Well, doggone it, looks like the 22, Samantha Knapp, took herself out of contention. Looks like the flag is off the doorpost. Also, the number 418, looks like that is Sebastian decline right here at the middle of the track. Not sure what happened to it. Sebastian took the flag off the door post of the 418. Hopefully they can bring those vehicles back tomorrow for another go-around. Number 93, definitely running hot. That's Brandon Miller out of Deerfield in the 93. And doggone it, looks like Eric Bennett in the 69 taking himself out of contention. He was running strong down there, far into the track. Luck was not on his side tonight. Hopefully he can get that thing back moved, bring her back tomorrow night for round number 2. And the 83, Jason Webb, down there mixing it up with the double 8. That's Mike Maduri. And the 4X, another one of the drivers having one heck of a good night here. That's Jason Rowe Haley. Drove a heck of a heat here. A lot of good hits, a lot of hard hits on. Just took himself out of contention in that number 4X. And it sounded like somebody else just sliced a tire out there. Not sure where it came from. 93 definitely getting hot. That's Brandon Miller taking a hit off the 5, 6, 7, 8 over Robert Zarka out of Manaway. Sean Petrie in the 0-1 staring down the nose of the 00Z of Boozer out of Ravenna. Mike Maduri in that 88. And doggone it, looks like we just had one take themselves out of contention. I believe that was the 76 over there, as best as I can tell. That was Justin Mason out of Cuyahoga Falls. Justin over there down at the far end. And Douglas Morey II in the 61. He's in that maroon and silver machine out there. He's kind of nosed up against the wall, backing her down right there as 32 comes around. Rex Heater in the 32 from Randolph. Those two drivers down at the far end. Everybody slowly but surely making their way down to the far end of the track. Sean Petrie in the 0-1, back-to-back with the 93 of Brandon Miller. Brandon side-by-side momentarily with the 00Z of Boozer out of Ravenna. Boozer making his way down through there. And just missing out. He goes back down. Going to get a little squeeze play down there between the 0-1 of Sean Petrie and that number 32 of Rex Heater. Down at the far end, the 83 sliding around. Jason Webb. Jason all alone right in the middle of the track. Down there towards the number 15 of Zach Costner. Now the 4-7. Doggone, looks like the 88 is out. That is Mike Maduri out of Ravenna down there. It looks like sitting at the base of that smoke cloud down at the far end of the track. Definitely got some problems out of Boozer. You can see that Boozer's definitely lost something in the front end of that machine. The tie rod broke on one side or the other. Kind of got his tires towed in at this moment in time. Sean Petrie in the 01 taking a shot in the nose courtesy of the 93, but he's going to give Brandon Miller a lift down to the far end of the track. 5, 6, 7, 8. Robert Zarka is out of contention right now, so we're seeing movement from fewer and fewer vehicles, including the 15 of Zach Kochner out of Ravenna down at the far end. So we may be down to just about 4 vehicles for sure, possibly the 5th one on the timer right now. Now these small cars definitely starting to get a little bit tired here. We can see that the 83, Jason Webb, they're mixing it up with the Boozer. Also have the number 93 of Brandon Miller and Sean Petrie. Now, surprising as it may be, these are the first 4 that are signed up for this particular heat ride here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Brandon Miller definitely having a lot of steam come off the number 93 as he's parked right in behind the 00Z of Boozer. Boozer here out of Ravenna. The 01, Sean Petrie out of Manaway. A little real estate between himself and the rest of the pack. Right now the number 83, Jason Webb out of Atwater up alongside the concrete barricade. Okay, well, looks like time just expired on the 83. That was Jason Webb out of Atwater. Jason Webb in the 83 going to be taking home the 4th place prize. Jason Webb was sponsored by White's Farm Supply, KJ's Tire, and McGrull's Pizza. Now these mini cars definitely hot. You can see they are running extremely slow. Okay, the red flags are flying. Red flags are flying out here. The last vehicle. That is going to be the 01 Sean Petrie out of Manaway making the last contact, sponsored by Sean Petrie's Horse Shoeing. Right now the referee's contemplating over the last. The 93 is getting the 2nd place finish. That's Brandon Miller out of Deerfield, sponsored by RMU Welding. 3rd place is a 00Z. That's a Boozer out of Ravenna. And finally in 4th place was the 83 of Jason Webb out of Atwater, sponsored by White's Farm Supply. So again, congratulations to all of those drivers who came out. Put on one heck of a good show for everybody out here. Is Junebug. That's Caleb Joy, sponsored by Safety Grooving and Grinding. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let them go, and the action is underway. Here's a large car event at the Smash It, Trash It, Paramount Automobile Demolition Derby. 171X, that's Caleb Youngblood, hopping his way down the track. And using the nose of that machine as a battering ram, we do have a Juliana Stepp, 003, making her way down through there. She's mixing it up. The 171X, and now the 899. That's Bill Smith out of Ravenna. Looks like it may be hooked bumper to bumper at this moment in time. He's got the hammer down on that 003. Down at the far end, here comes the T91 at a high rate of speed. That's Tim Novak. Back-to-back with the 1811X of Jeff Elton. Right now, Elton trying to mix it up with 735 of Josh Reed out of Rootstown. And we did see quite a bit of sparking coming out of the 735. And it looks like we're trying to refire the 003. It looks like most everybody's still running the 44DX. Have a little bit of a rough time out there. That's Josh Henry out of the refire. I'm not sure what's going on at this moment in time. And doggone it, they did dash out the 44DX. Josh Henry. step in the 003. Jeff Elvis hanging around the track. Pickup, Frank Christie out of Kent. 316, Matt Franklin out of Garrett. 538 of Shane Day. A little bit of flame popping out of the stack. Nothing to be concerned about. That's 171X Caleb Youngblood. Got a little bit on the rich side of green fire. And do that side. X. Doing the show right now. 717, Darren Zimmerman out of Atwater. Holding that hammer down. Contact with 899. Bill Smith out of Venom. And it looks like 316. Right out of Garrettsville is out of contention. Jeff Elvis taking a heck of a hard hit. Tim Novak, T91, spinning around. He's now 899. 899. Leaving quite a bit. Looks like it just busted with nose. T91, courtesy. 5'8", Chris White, Ryan Stevens in the other corner. Out of contention over there on the other side of the track. Main grandstand side, but look out, the 538. Play down the track, and he realized the 003 was out of contention here. Well, it looks like we just got a stick broken down there on the 171X Caleb Youngblood. Stick 316 popping out of his vehicle. Slowly but surely, we're winding things down here with these guys putting on a great show here in the large car event. $1,500 on the line. They are paying for the spot. $1,500 to win, $750 per second, $500 for third, $250 for fourth place finish. 717, Darren Zimmerman out of Atwater. Not letting any moss grow under his machine. Junebug, Caleb Joy, taking an extra hit from 538 Shane Day. He's got somebody chasing him down. That's the pickup truck, Frank Christie in 128. 128, gonna get the Portage County edition of the Malachi Crunch out here. In between the two vehicles. I'll say the T91, Tim Novak, spitting out quite a bit of steam off of that machine. Other driver that's a little bit warm right now is Bill Smith in the 899. Bill's got his machine fired up. That helps give him another tap as he comes down through there. Jeff followed up very closely by Frank Christie. And that's 128. Taking 717, Darren Zimmerman, he's here out of Atwater, and he has a pretty good running engine up underneath the hood of that 717. And it looks like Frank Christie has problems right now. He's kind of wedged in there, sandwiched up, possibly hung up on the Dodge Reed on the 717. Down to 7 of them. Jeff Eldredge going to be putting a wallop. Frank Christie. 128. That helps get 128 popped off of that. Stalled out. Watch this, folks. That's going to be a hard hit, courtesy of the 717 of Darren Zimmerman. Hold him up, hold him up, hold him up, hold him up, hold him up. We do have the referees going out there. And they're ready to turn them loose and let them go. Getting the action back underway right now. Caleb Joy in the June bug, making his way down to them. And a 538. Put a heck of a hit on Frank Christie. Shane Day going after him down there. The pickup truck trying to get it going on, and they are popping and popping down through here. The 899 Bill Smith going into the T91 Tim Novak. Right about track central over here. The T91 starting to get mighty, mighty warm. Jeff Eldredge in the 1811X. Got a lot of running room down there, even though he lost the rubber off the left rear. He's got the rim down on the dirt. He's able to get pretty good traction out there. Great job driving that back and forth. Things keep going and progressing here. The number 31 sliding his way around. Eric Stevens out of Newton Falls. Stevens taking a hit. T91, Tim Novak. About a 50-50 shot of getting into the money right now. I'm showing about 8 vehicles left running, 8 of them left running right now. I think the 899 Bill Smith out of Ravenna trying to refire his machine down there in that nose of June bug. And he's got her moving. He's back heading down through there. Looks like he's going to go back to T91 of Tim Novak. All that steam continuing to pour out of Frank Christie's pickup truck. Okay, and the 128 is out of contention. That's Shane Day, the 538. Tim Novak in the T91. Tim heading back down the track. Shane Day. Distance and opportunity. Going to go back for a repeat performance on the T91. June bug. Caleb Joy over there. Work things out as he goes after Novak. And the 899 Bill Smith going to slip slide out of there just in the nick of time. Shane Day using good judgment. He is not hitting the driver's door right now. We did have Jeff Eldredge and Darren Zimmerman's drivers out there very much exposed. And the 717 still running strong. Darren Zimmerman putting a shot up on the front fender. June Bug. And that last one, even though it was a shot from behind, there was enough of rattling going on that it looks like it rattled loose something in the coolant system there. If not one, possibly both of those. Bill Smith and the 31, Eric Stevens. Steam coming off of that. Darren Zimmerman in the 717. Getting some RPM filled up, going after June Bug at this time. June Bug squaring off, and in behind the 1811X, Jeff Eldridge. Looks like June Bug is going to be cleaning out the carburetor a little bit himself. They grab that machine. June Bug. Bill Smith in the 899 coming down to get in on the action down there. Let's see the 899 trotting on down. Good hit on Tim Novak in the T91 ended up popping his bumper up on that concrete barricade. He's able to pull her off of there, but I'll tell you that 899 has been hot for quite some time. As you can see, not only steam but smoke as well rolling out from underneath the hood of the 899. 6 of these vehicles still running out here. 4 out of the 6 are going to be going home with some prize money tonight. A little bit more sparkish coming out from underneath the 717. Not sure what's rubbing up in under there, but he's definitely got something in underneath that 717. Darren Zimmerman has been putting on one heck of a good show all night long here. Right now, the T91 right from the center of I don't think that's where the 538 wants to find itself. That's Shane Day out of Ravenna, popped up on top of that concrete barricade right now. He's able to wedge himself out of there. It looks like a little bit of help from the 1811X. Jeff Eldridge is going down through there. Gave him a nudge just at the right angle there and hopped and popped him off of that. Got a couple more of them on the timer right now. Looks like the 899 of Bill Smith. And doggone it, looks like Tim Novak in the T91. Wind down in the numbers right now. But 717. Darren Zimmerman out of Atwater. Oh, there she blows a 538. Shane Day went nose to nose. Hold them up out there. Hold them up, drivers. Hold them up. We got her down to 5 vehicles left running. Now 4 of these 5 will be receiving some prize money. $1,500 to win, $750 for second, $500 for third, and $250 for fourth. Tonight's Demolition Derby event is sponsored by Lepo Ritz and Ford. Sponsorship. Hold them up. We do have the red flags flying. Hold them up. They're going to take a close look out there. Hold them up. Hold them up. The red flags are flying. They want to take a closer look down there under the hood of the 899. And they're turning them loose and letting them go. That last hit, like it did, kind of wedge Shane Day in the 538 up into the nose of the 899. To get these vehicles unwedged from one another, and it looks like slowly but surely they might get this accomplished. Bill Smith and Shane Day appear to be hooked up pretty tight. Between the 717, Darren Zimmerman in the 1811X. That's Jeff Eldrith out of Suffield. June Bug. Caleb Joy also in the mix right now. Oh, looks like we got something firing up out there. That fire flamed up. They're going to take a closer look at that. Hold them up down there, drivers. Hold them up just one moment. They're going to take a close look and they're going to go ahead and turn them loose and let them go, getting the action back underway. So they are down to 4 vehicles running at this moment in time. I believe a couple of them still on the timers. Now, for those of you that are heading out right now, we do want to thank you for coming out here and spending the evening with you at the Smash It Demolition Derby night number 1. Again, we have a lot coming on the rest of this week out here at the fair, so be sure and grab one of the fair books and check out all the great things to do. We have another night of Demolition Derby action tomorrow night, including the youth adult class, which is sure to please. You're going to see a lot of these young drivers coming out here for the first time participating in a Demolition Derby. So we do invite you to come back. And we have 2 of them still very much in the mix of things down there. That's Jeff Eldrith in the 1811X and Caleb Joy, the June Bug. Okay, well here comes Jeff Eldridge in the 1811X. Junebug, Caleb Joy down here. It is down to a 1-2 finish right now. Okay, well, it was just told to me that the last contact down there, Bill Smith in the 899 is in fourth. Shane Day is in third. Got the red flags flying down here. It looks like the first place is going to be Caleb Joy in the Junebug, taking away the wind. Second place is Jeff Eldridge in the 1811X out of Suffield. Again, congratulations to the 1-2 finish on those drivers again. Shane Day in the 538 is in third, and fourth place is Bill Smith in the 899. Again, a lot of great things tonight. We appreciate all the drivers getting their vehicles ready and bringing them out here to put on a wonderful show for everybody tonight. Again, folks, thanks for coming out, spending the night with us here at the Smash It Demolition Derby, night number 1. We do have another night coming up tomorrow, same time, same place, 7:30 right here on your way out. If you would like to get an official copy of the DVD, they do have those on sale right up here at the announcer stand. You want to do that fairly quickly if you'd like to order one tonight. things here. Like 715, just shy. I'd say right now the upper hand, definitely 715. Running that 715 number. I'm glad to see him. And the action is over here in heat number 2. Mini car.
tire out there. Not sure where it came from. 93 definitely getting hot. Brandon Miller taking his off. 5, 6, 7, 8. Start there. And away. Non-Patriot. 0-1. Lost number 93, portage by 003 of Lutheran. Clear out of the old line, Sean Petrie out of Manaway. The rest of the pack. Right now, number 83, Jason Webb out of Atwater. Jason Webb in the 83, going to be taking home the fourth place prize. James Tire Now these mini cars are definitely hot. See, they are running extremely slow. Okay, the red flag vehicle. That is going to be the 01 Sean Petrie out of Manaway making the last contact on the side. Sean Petrie's fourth viewing. Right now, referee on the way to go to his lap. 93 is getting the second place finish. That's Brandon Miller. Here's the front side, Mark. get the action back. And you see the 715, Chris Miller. 7:15. Starting to get a little more warm out there. Overflow 2. Right now, looks like he's got the upper hand. So we have Rebecca Raines in the 5-0. Been working on that bucket list. Not a bad way to finishing things here. Like 7:15, just shy. So I'd say right now the upper hand, definitely 7:15. night. Back boat, back department for round number 2. And the 83, Jason Webb. Double 8. Mike Missouri. And the 4X, one of the drivers, that's one heck of a good night. tires here from 6083, Jason Webb. Mixing it up with the smoother. Also has number 93 Brandon Miller and John Petrie. Driving in the state meeting, these are the first four that are signed up for this particular heat drive here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Jason Webb in the 83, going to be taking home the fourth place prize. Getting tired and now, these mini cars are definitely hot. See, they are running extremely slow. Okay, the red flag vehicle. And it's going to be the 01 Sean Petrie out of Manaway making the last contact on the side. Sean Petrie sports viewing. Right now, referee on the way to go to this last 93 is getting second place finish.